So, today, me and the Cool here shall be reviewing Under the Lake. So put your sonic sunglasses on and get out your cards. It's time for another Doctor Who Time and Space.
Welcome there
to another episode of Doctor Who Time and Space.
I'm D Cool.
And I'm Lewis Moon. It's episode 128 today.
Wowza, that's nearly as old as I am. So what do we have on this week's show?
We are going to, our main article is us reviewing Under the Lake. So go under or before the lake or flood.
So as well as going under the lake, have I got the right way around?
Yeah.
We'll also be going before the flood.
Well, you kind of got it the right way round, depending on what way you look at it, because they're set before each other.
Well, to put it another way, we'll be reviewing last week's episode
and
previewing this week's episode. So, if that makes sense. We'll also have lots of news and views.
News and views!
What else do we have on this show?
Top settings for Doctor Who episodes.
So I think that's probably enough for people to get their teeth into, don't you?
Yes.
So we're going to start off with the review of last week's episode.
Yes, we are.
So this was episode 3 of the new series.
Doctor Who. So do you want to give your story?
Yeah, I'll give a brief synopsis. I was saying the reason we were chuckling then is because as you'll find out when I talk through this properly, I really enjoyed this week's episode. But I've had quite a sort of hard week this week, a real tough week, and my brain has gone to mush a little bit. And I was saying to Lou earlier on, I can't really remember it very well what happened. And he said, "It's your turn to do the synopsis. You've got to remember." So, what do I remember? So, what do I remember about it? I remember it started off in the setting of a sort of underground base. Underwater base, sorry. And basically, I think that's pretty much the first thing I can remember is that I can't remember what they're doing, but there's the explosion.
Fire
that basically kills one of the members of the crew.
Which is the leader.
The leader of the crew, Moran.
Well, not the leader, but...
He then sort of comes back as a ghost.
Yeah, and they say, it's Moran. He's a ghost. I think O'Donnell delivers that line. I know the names of the crew members.
Oh, I don't. They're just the crew, as far as I'm concerned. And basically, so when the Doctor and Clara, meanwhile, Clara's really looking for excitement, isn't she? She's turned into a real adrenaline junkie, isn't she?
Yes.
She wants fun. She wants excitement. She wants adventure.
I know.
And they arrive at the underwater base. I'm sure there's a reason, isn't there? The TARDIS sort of packed up, doesn't it? Because it's scared of ghosts, effectively.
Yeah.
That's what they keep indicating. And as they're walking along outside through the tunnels of the underwater base, they see the ghosts for the first time.
Yeah.
So they're seeing the guy who you just mentioned, the captain died, Moran, and also
Prentice, played by Paul Kay.
Prentice, played by Paul Kay, who's sort of wearing he looks very smart, doesn't he? Wearing a sort of a suit with a top hat. And he's one of those creatures that was in the God Complex.
Yeah, Tavorian, I think.
Yeah. And they're really cool, aren't they? Because their mouths are moving, aren't they? And we find out a little bit more about that later on.
There's something sacred, the temple.
But you can't actually make out what they're saying, can you? You just see their mouths moving.
I know.
And the Doctor is totally buzzing, isn't he? Because he doesn't believe in ghosts. And it's just something, he loves it because it's something for once he doesn't actually understand. Is that enough of a synopsis, do you think?
I do. Where's that?
What we should say, and it doesn't really matter because we've always done a second scene. If you haven't seen the episode yet, this next section of the podcast, this review, will contain spoilers.
So turn off now. This is a spoiler alert. Turn off now if you have not watched Under the Lake.
Mm.
We do not give spoilers on Before the Flood, which is tonight's episode, because we don't know what the hell's going to happen. Both of us.
Mhm.
So we're not going to spoil anything.
Okay.
But today, last week's episode, Under the Lake, we are going to spoil a little bit. Definitely that cliffhanger. But so should I give my?
Just before we go into comments, on the basis we've just given that spoiler alert now, what I could just sort of indicate is a few of the other pointers for the story is that when people are being bumped off, they seem to come back as ghosts.
Mm.
The ghosts seem to be some way of trying to send out a signal, sort of like a power
The
source.
dark, there's something sick.
Yeah.
I don't know what the second word is.
And there's that word, these words that are written on the inside.
But 1414 something.
Yeah, and the TARDIS can't actually translate it, can it?
Yeah.
It's like a sort of like a language you can't understand, but it may be something linked with the fact that it's scared of ghosts and things. I don't know. And then basically, lots of chasing, blah 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 blah. End scene.
Mm.
Do you want to mention what happens in the end scene?
No, we'll mention that later.
Okay. What do you think of it then?
I thought it was judging by the last story, Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar, was sort of like a story which you'd have to watch every single episode of Doctor Who. Like Genesis, you'd need to watch before that. You'd have to be a proper Doctor Who fan. That wouldn't be a good one to start with.
Mm-hmm.
However, this would be an alright one to start. It's sort of a typical Doctor Who adventure.
Yeah.
With ghosts, an underwater base. It's just an action-packed thrill ride. That's what Clara wanted, and she got a wish.
And so did we.
Yeah, and so did we, because it was such an action-packed adventure. It was better than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
The cliffhanger was amazing. Some great scenes, including the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Just quite a good story, which it wasn't as good as the first story, but still it had some great moments, had shocking moments, but it still cannot beat that first story. But I think overall this season is going to be a great one.
Mm. The interesting thing was from the first sort of clips from this series we saw with the first trailers that were released.
Yeah.
There was quite a lot of focus on scenes from this two-parter, wasn't there?
And from that BBC America trailer.
Yeah. And I don't know if you remember, Lee, but when we were watching it, my favourite bits in the trailer were often the clips from this episode, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because it was like Paul Kay. I didn't realise it was Paul Kay at the time. The ghost that he was playing.
I didn't realise until last week when the promo clips.
Yeah. So and then that. So actually, it was in many respects it was one of the episodes in the series that I was most looking forward for.
Yeah.
Then
and a little while ago, it was the most anticipated.
Yeah. But then they released the first BBC synopsis.
Yes.
And it sounded like it was going to be a bit boring.
The second part though was good.
But it didn't really entice me in their synopsis. So I thought, well, maybe it's not going to be quite as strong as what I'd hoped it was going to be.
It's not the best episode ever, but it's a great one, which could be one of the best episodes ever. But it's very hard to be the best up to episode, but it's near the top.
I think it depends what you're looking for in an episode.
Mm.
I think if you're looking for a real clever episode, then one like last week's is going to be right up there.
But if you were like my mum and you want to have a standalone adventure, a proper action-packed thrill roller coaster ride, then this one's what you want to watch.
What did you make of the monsters?
Oh, they were so cool.
I say monsters, ghosts.
And the fact that they're just made out of words, basically.
Mhm.
And they're so creepy. Definitely the Doctor Ghost.
Mhm.
We'll go into that a bit more in a sec. But they're a very creepy monster, and it's good that they're actually ghosts and not like fake ghosts, you know.
We'll see. I'm not convinced that by the end of tonight's episode that they won't
No.
be something other than ghosts.
The Doctor says, I want to know how you can create these creatures more than nothing but words.
Yeah.
It was a great Next Time trailer, wasn't it, at the end?
It was. Yeah, it was very good.
I'm so addicted to watching that.
Yeah, no, it was very good. I also really liked the ghosts. I thought they looked really good, particularly again the Paul Kay ghost.
Yeah.
I think he looks fantastic.
He does, and we'll see him more tonight as his Molly normal form.
Yeah. What I thought was interesting with ghosts was initially I wasn't sure whether they were a threat or not because they didn't.
And they
really seem
didn't
to
kill
fight,
as
did
many
they?
people as we thought they would.
No.
Not in the first part. Anyway.
No. But they didn't seem that much of a threat, did they?
No.
Until there was the moment where they just sort of suddenly flipped a little bit and started trying to. They looked like they were going to smash that interpreter guy with some sort of instrument. I can't remember what it was it?
Was it Lum?
Might have been. Can't remember.
What, the guy we like?
The interpreter guy, wasn't it?
Pritchard.
The guy that was helping the deaf woman.
Lum.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yes. But at that stage, they turned really violent. What?
And they had the guns.
Yeah.
And the metal objects. And everything.
What did you make of the actual scenery in the setting?
I thought it was it's a very unlikely combination to have ghosts and an underwater base in the same episode.
You say unlikely, but is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing, but I probably would never have thought of that combination. Would you?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah. I haven't thought of that one, but I probably would have thought of something equivalent.
You probably would have thought of something. you put sea devils underwater in Alcatraz. You put sea devils in Alcatraz, so
that is true.
Then you put werewolves. Oh wait, that's not really. Werewolves in a jungle in a game show. I suppose it's in a game show. It's quite original. I love that story though. It's not the most original setting, but it's a good story. So great episode, the best in the Mysterious Moon Adventures.
We'll come on to that maybe a little bit later.
Yes.
The
went on a tangent there.
That was a right tangent, wasn't it? It's more of a tangent than I got on. What did you think of the supporting cast?
Oh, they were good. They were they're sort of like more used than most supportive casts, I suppose. But they're just there for the ghosts, I suppose. And Cass.
Yeah.
She's quite a strong character, but she's there because the ghosts are doing that. The something, the sacred, the temple.
What? Because I guess what you didn't really get, and I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing at all, because obviously it's a lot to fit in terms of story. You didn't really get to know that much about some of the cast members, did you? The crew members.
No, like
so, the captain was pretty much killed straight away.
But we might see him tonight.
We might do. I don't think it mattered anyway, really. The one that I think would have been interested to seeing a little bit more of was the businessman guy. Pritchard, yeah. Because I mean, it was obvious that we didn't like it. You weren't meant to like him, weren't you?
It's an unlikable character.
Yeah, you were meant to want something unpleasant to happen to him, and by golly, it did.
Yes.
And he was turned into a ghost. I think the ones you're really drawn to is the deaf woman.
Yeah, I know.
What's her name again?
Cass.
Cass, yeah.
And Lum.
And Lum.
They're sort of like a good team.
Yeah.
And Lun's my favourite out of the crew members.
I think it's either Lun or Cass, definitely.
Lun or Cass are my favourite.
It was really good how they brought that in with Cass. I think.
Yeah.
Because it could have been a little bit of a distraction.
It could have, yeah.
With
quite nice.
all the sign language and everything, but it was actually really, really effectively done. I think.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the cliffhanger.
Okay.
It was such a shocking cliffhanger, wasn't it?
Mm.
The Doctor died. Or did he?
Can I see
As a ghost. Yeah.
Because I think what was quite interesting is just before we saw that, the Doctor and Clara got separated, didn't they?
Yeah.
So Clara was with half the crew, the Doctor was with the other half of the crew. The Doctor was near the TARDIS, so he could go back in time. Whereas the TARDIS wouldn't be able to go and get Clara because it wouldn't move there because of the ghosts that were stuck in there with them.
Yeah.
So that's why they got separated. And it sets the scene for tonight's episode, which is really very cleverly set before the episode we watched last week.
Which is quite confusing, but it's probably it's like they said about the different type of two-parters.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have thought of that, actually.
No.
Really good, really original thought, I think.
It is.
So that's why they're separated. It then cuts to Clara, who's looking out at the window.
Yeah.
And what does she see?
She's like really, like big eyes, shocked, seeing the Doctor as one of those ghosts. And it's such a creepy image.
It is actually, isn't it? I'll tell you what, Peter Capaldi does Ghost very well, doesn't he? He looks a bit like one of the old Vincent Price horror film pictures. Because with the big sort of sunken eye socket.
Stuart Manning poster for tonight is quite good. So,
yeah. So
it had the Doctor as a ghost on there, half ghost, half not ghost.
Yeah.
Well, ghost, but a white ghost.
Ghost, not ghost. Not ghost, ghost, not ghost. So I guess tonight we're going to find out a little bit about why he becomes a ghost and things like that.
How he becomes a ghost.
And how. But we'll come on to that a little bit with our preview later on. So, favourite bits in the episode?
Favourite bits? I like the cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great moment. There's also that great scene, isn't there, when the Doctor's with the cards.
Yeah, what makes it really good, isn't it, is because the Doctor's going through this period of real excitement. There's all these crew members in front of him, and as we know, Peter Capaldi isn't particularly great, or his Doctor isn't particularly great with people. He feels a bit uncomfortable and awkward with people. So
Clara's great with people, but not the Doctor.
Yeah. Clara's got these pre-prepared cards that she quickly hands him to help him out.
Don't leave me at Aberdeen or something.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have not known you didn't live in Aberdeen.
Yeah, which is presumably a Sarah Jane reference. I can't remember the line he said, but it was really funny because even then he said it really clumsily, didn't he?
It was like, I'm sorry for the death of your crew member, family member, pet.
Yeah, what I like is that he wanted to start with, I'm sorry for the loss of your crew member / family member / pet.
Yeah.
So it was really clumsily done, but it was a brilliant bit, that.
Yeah, it was.
That was probably my I know it's only one little funny silly scene, but that was probably my favourite scene in the whole episode.
I think we should see the cards a bit more. What I'd heard.
I'd love one of these cards.
What I'd heard is actually people had sent them in.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Or some people had done them, maybe in the production team, and made them up.
Oh, that's fun.
Like when said, you try not to be. I'm sorry you were exterminated, deleted, incarcerated, such and such.
Yeah, it's funny that. One of my other favourite scenes in it is probably the most exciting bit in it.
Oh
Is the bit where the ghosts only appear at night time, don't they? But because it's underwater, there's no natural light. So effectively, the base has a system for enabling day and enabling night, so that people's heads aren't too screwed up by the sameness all the time.
Yeah.
Now the ghosts actually lock into this, don't they? And they make night come early. And so one of the crew members, I can't remember who, switches it back to daytime. The doctor
I
then
think
thinks,
it's O'Donnell.
yeah, the doctor then thinks, actually, I don't understand what's going on here. I'm excited by it. I'm going to bring it back to night. So you then cut the scene where they're trying to sort of goad the ghosts, really, aren't they? To sort of hello,
Thrilling
I'm over
scene.
here, and then the ghosts sort of chase them, and particularly Clara's being chased by the ghosts.
Yeah, and then they get split up, the ghosts. So
Yeah.
sort of a great, thrilling scene.
Really exciting scene, that one.
Really exciting.
Yeah. So, what other thoughts do you have on this particular episode?
What on? Just on anything? Or
Yeah, just generally, first of all.
just generally?
Yeah.
My general thoughts.
You tell your general thoughts.
Yeah,
Okay.
just my general thoughts. If you got any questions to ask.
Okay. How do you think it compares with the first one in terms? I know you said you slightly prefer the Magician's Apprentice as a story.
Yeah.
What I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah.
This will lead on to a question for you, once I thought
Okay.
on properly. But what I thought was quite interesting is that reading the comments from the press, they were pretty universal in loving the first two episodes. Most people in general seem to really like it. There's a few negative ones about stuff. When it came on to this episode, it got some really good reactions in the press, but there was a few more that said it was a bit run of the mill. But if you then took it instead from the sort of the critics to the run of the mill public, it seemed pretty universal praise for this episode. Probably as much as I can remember for any episode ever, actually.
Yeah.
Well, certainly, in recent times, you usually get a few people moaning about it, but most people sort of really, really like this episode. Do you think? This is where I'm coming on to your question eventually. Do you think this will stand the test of time as a classic New Who episode?
It felt more like a classic Doctor Who story, like a Tom Baker or Patrick Troughton or something.
But with modern
CGI and everything.
Yeah.
And the effects and the feel of it was sort of like a classic episode, but like the look of it and everything was a modern sort of twang.
Now, I don't disagree with you, because I think I can see where you're coming from on that. But do you know what it reminded me of most?
What?
Waters of Mars.
Yeah. Waters of Mars. Yeah, that was the most reminded one, but it also reminded me of 42. And that scene when Pritchard, you see him floating in underwater.
Oh, that's good.
It made me feel like that scene when that woman's in the black hole at Impossible Planet.
Right.
Same put.
Yeah. I don't think it's not quite as good an episode as Waters of Mars.
No.
I don't think.
I don't either.
Although
it is a good.
There's similarities.
Almost.
A lot of similarities in it. In both cases, you've got normal crew members that are being taken over by, in Waters of Mars instance, flood, the water thing. In this instance, the ghost stuff is going on.
Yeah, maybe the Fisher King.
Yeah. Whoever that is, we should find out tonight, and we'll talk about that bit in a minute, I guess.
Yes.
Another question I was going to pose to you.
Yeah.
Do you, on a scare factor basis, what did you make of it?
Scare factor? It was quite a scary episode. The image of the ghosts, particularly the ghost doctor, and just the feel of the episode was sort of like scary. It sort of a bit more scary than the first one, maybe. The first one, the theme of it was quite dark. It was quite a dark episode, not necessarily scary. No.
Yeah, and actually that's where these two differ, isn't it? Because this one wasn't a dark episode, was it? In terms of subject matter, it was fairly light.
Yeah.
But it felt quite scary in
did.
terms of the ghosts and everything, and the way they filmed them, the effects and everything was really strong. But you weren't like scared to go to bed or anything like that.
No.
You didn't watch it like you did with Listen with your hand over your face.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Wish I hadn't been that stupid.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were. I mean, again, that's a classic Who joke, isn't it?
It was.
Okay, so a bit of a roundup, shall we? On
A bit of a roundup. Should I go first, or do you want to go
first? No, you go first.
So this story was a great story with an action-packed thrill roller coaster ride, which wasn't as good as the first story, but it's got a lot to. Part 2's got a lot to match up to, and it's just a really good story. The ghosts look cool, amazing cliffhanger. The Dr. Clara and the crew members are great, especially Cass and Lun, and I am looking forward to see where the story goes in the next part.
Okay. And what he said. There's not really like a lot I can add to that. I'd agree. I think I slightly prefer the first two episodes, but very slightly. It is very slightly because it was a really, really good episode. It shot through time-wise.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like it was 45, 50 minutes, whatever it is. Absolutely steamed through. Some really great lines in it. Doctor and Clara are fantastic together. Supporting cast really good. Ghosts fantastic.
No.
Exactly what if you were to say
exactly what you said.
Yeah, exactly what you said. If you were to look for a sort of a perfect Doctor Who episode that isn't complicated, perfect non-complicated Doctor Who episode, you'd be looking at this sort of story.
I know.
Lot to offer. Definitely one I would recommend to people.
Me too.
And definitely showing great promise for what looks like it could be an absolutely fantastic season.
Yes. So,
okay.
That's the end of our review. Is it?
Yeah.
What do you rate it out of 10?
I'd say, I think I'd give it a 9.
Yeah.
I really did.
Not a 9.5 like the other one, but a 9.
I think I'd give it a 9. I really, really enjoyed it.
Me too.
Even if as I said at the beginning, even if I can't remember it particularly well, because my brain's exhausted. But I did really enjoy it. It's one I'd like to watch again, actually. I'd like to watch it back to back with tonight's. And
I don't know whether they're doing that tomorrow. I don't think they are.
Yeah, right, okay.
I don't know. They might be doing that.
Yeah.
But okay, so should we move on to Before the Flood preview?
Okay, the preview. Tonight's episode. What time?
It's on at 8:25 tonight. I'll just find the synopsis a second.
Yeah. Interesting one though, isn't it? Just because. Okay, can I ask? What's your search black? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What are you making of the whole two-parter thing?
I'm thinking it's really good, this whole two-parter thing.
Because if we go back about a year or so ago, we had a discussion. You probably didn't really remember. We had a discussion about whether one-parters or two-parters were better. Now at that time, you preferred one-parters because you didn't want to have to wait the week for the end of the story.
Did I?
Yeah. Whereas I think now, being a bit older, you love the tenseness of the cliffhanger. Perhaps it was to a certain extent. Perhaps it was the Dark Water, Death in Heaven thing that made you really realise how much you liked the two-parters.
Yeah, maybe it was because they hadn't come back for quite a long time.
Yeah, no, indeed. So, are you still trying to find?
I'm still trying to find the synopsis.
Yeah. So I did
synopsis?
some great waffling, didn't I? In the intro.
It's under the lake.
So
I don't want under the lake.
Thinking around.
Sorry about this.
No. So whilst you're looking for that, I'll go on to another slight change on that same topic. As we mentioned during the review of it, we seem to be in a position where the Doctor's going back in time. So the events of tonight's episode, certainly from the Doctor's perspective, are going to be things that have happened before.
There, got it.
Before what we've seen so far.
Right, so on a remote army outpost, a fearsome alien warlord, the Fisher King, sets in motion a twisted plan to ensure his own survival. The ripples will be felt around the universe. Is this chain of events inevitable? And can the Doctor do the unthinkable?
So again, Toby Whitehouse and Daniel O'Hara.
No, that's the director.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. In the sort of the two of them together, which was the same as last week's. The interesting thing, when you read that synopsis, you wouldn't necessarily think it was the same story, would you?
No.
Actually, going back to last week's episode, there was that sort of white crate, wasn't it? That sort of tomb thing.
Oh yeah.
And we were wondering whether actually this Fisher King, whatever this Fisher King is,
there's things saying that it could be the Fisher King, and then the Doctor's been put in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So.
Do you want to hear some hints and teasers?
Yeah, run by.
So, opening line. So this is man. He has a time machine.
Ooh.
Something paradox. 3 old friends and an old foe.
I'm intrigued by that.
Me too. Probably will mean nothing.
It probably is like that one that we've had in the past. There's usually at least one which we don't know what on earth it was on about when we try and review it later.
Yeah. Who is the Minister of War?
Me.
This belongs to the glorious something or others. Moran Pritchard Prentice. Someone. So
you were trying to work out whether that was an order of people being bumped off. Because normally in these sorts of episodes, there's a little bit of a bumping off going on, isn't there?
But if you look at that order, Moran's first and Prentice is there.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not then. Okay.
Maybe,
yeah.
Ripples on a pond. Die with whoever comes after me. Look again very closely at the Ghost Doctor. Have you missed something? I didn't see anyone here to stop me. The Doctor gets to talk to a time lord.
I wonder if that's himself.
Yes. And what does it mean by look again very closely at the Ghost Doctor? Have you missed something?
I don't necessarily think the Ghost Doctor we've seen yet will be what they're talking about there. I think it might be something in the scene later on, perhaps, where there's something that the eagle-eyed would identify.
I was trying to look at the Ghost Doctor and I couldn't find anything. So.
Oh my God! It's Omega in that tomb, and he comes out and he's still alive and he talks to him like there's a Time Lord.
That's why there's a Time Lord.
Yeah.
So.
Please.
Did travelling with the Doctor change you? Cass is a real daredevil. Someone says the famous TARDIS line several times.
What is that? Is that it's big on the inside?
Probably.
I think. Yeah.
I'm to save Clara. 30 minutes. Minus 30, does that say?
Minus 30 minutes,
yeah. Time Lords, cowardly, vain curators who suddenly remembered they have teeth. Clara's an idiot. Don't kiss me. 2 characters who aren't the Doctor will don the sonic sunglasses.
Ooh.
I don't care about your rules or your bloody survivor's guilt. Sally Sparrow did the trick at this time.
Okay. Is that all of them?
Yes.
Yeah. So, some intriguing hints and things there. What do you reckon? What can we expect tonight? Do you think it's going to be a less tense or a less scary episode? It certainly looks like it's going to be predominantly out of the base, doesn't it, this time? Because it's going to be before the flood occurred. what can we expect?
Don't know.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's really difficult. It is really difficult to know. What is this Fisher King, do you think?
Time Lord?
Well, could be. Yeah,
Time Lord.
that's true.
Yeah, could be.
Oh my God, it's Omega!
Yay!
Yeah. I know you are. You're really looking forward to the episode, aren't you?
Yes, just carry on for a sec.
Yeah. I think one of the things that's intrigued me so far with this series, probably more so than any other ones in recent times, is firstly reverting back to two-parters. And also, if we go back to the real classic ones, the cliffhanger was always an essential part of the Doctor Who experience. In terms of this series, not only are we reverting back to cliffhangers, but also they seem to be very clever in that both parts seem to be quite different from each other. And this is probably more so even than the first one seems to be the case, where part 1 and part 2 are very, very different. Sort of, to a certain extent, sort of like standalone episodes, but with a underlying theme.
Yes.
What do you think?
What about
about the two-parter thing?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
A good different format.
Yeah.
But different to last year's, which was, and the year before's, which were mostly one-parters.
What are you looking forward to most about this episode tonight?
I'm looking forward to seeing the Fisher King
and
how the Doctor becomes a ghost.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing the K character before we do Ghost, to see what sort of character he's like.
Yeah.
Very interested to see that. It looks really good, doesn't it? Well, it sort of looks. He's gone from looking scary as he does for Ghost. That's really scary, actually. That particular Ghost, isn't it? Because it looks really, really old. I'm talking about the Paul K one.
Oh yeah.
Whereas when he sort of reverts back to the normal form before he's turned into a ghost in the past, he's got a little cuteness about him.
Yeah, he does.
A bit like David Walliams' character in God Complex. It's a bit cute.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say on tonight's episode?
No. What do you think? So, do you think it'll be better than the last part?
It's going to struggle to be as good as that last part.
Yeah.
The only downside with the whole concept of two-parters is the big ending that you get with the cliffhanger. It's difficult to actually match that in terms of the ending of a story.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Although, as we know from last week's discussion, I did prefer the second part of Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar, than the first part.
Yes. So, should we move on to the news?
News and views.
So, the ratings for Under the Lake, and also the final ratings for Which is Familiar have been released. Which we start with overnights and hours.
Yeah.
So the overnight for Under the Lake was 3.7 million and the hours 84. Do you think it would get more? Because the Rugby World Cup isn't with England, is it? Is it on tonight?
I'm sure there probably is a rugby game, but England are out.
It's not England.
England are out, so it won't be them.
So it might be more popular.
It might be, yeah. I think probably the rugby has hit the ratings.
Yeah.
Definitely, and I think that's why you then tend to see a significant increase when it comes to the iPlayer included views later on. I think it's noticeable that television full stop tends to get less viewers than what it did. The viewing figures they're a little bit disappointing, aren't they? Particularly when you look at how acclaimed this series has been so far.
I know.
But I don't know, you've got to put it into a bit of context. I think it more than anything is just a difference in the way people watch things now. I think probably a lot of people. I think the whole concept of box set viewing is now
Yes.
often for many people a preferred way of watching things. They like to sit and watch sort of like binge on a whole series
Yeah.
rather than watch episodes one by one. So I think that's part of it. Interestingly though, as we've said before, American figures substantially up,
They
weren't
were.
they? Certainly
It
for the
was
first
like
ones.
the Magician's Apprentice set US records.
Yeah. So that's good, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So what was the next figures that you
So-
were read out?
Which is familiar. The final ratings were 5.71 million.
Okay. What were the final ones for?
Magician's Apprentice,
Yeah.
6.54.
Okay.
Quite good.
Yeah. All these people that don't know how it ended. How can they
No.
sleep at night? How can they wouldn't have seen anything other than the bit when the Doctor is there threatening to shoot the young Davros. You
And
know,
Clara getting
yeah,
exterminated.
that's it. Maybe what happened is that nearly 1 million people watched that and thought, "Damn it, Clara's dead. I'm not watching it anymore."
What
Yeah.
do you think? Do you think the finals would be a bit similar to them?
I think this one will mirror probably the Witch is Familiar. It would be somewhere around 5.7 million.
Yeah.
Can you remind me what the AI score is?
AL.
AL score. What is that?
I think it's AL, is it?
Oh no, it's AI. So it's the Audience Appreciation
Oh.
Index. But will you just get up a second? So the Audience Appreciation Index is a score out of 100, which is used as an indicator of the public's appreciation for a show. Over 90 is considered exceptional, 85 or over is excellent, 60 or less is poor, and less than 55 is very poor. So these episodes
84 and 83.
84 and 83. So it's
So 83 was last week, so 84 was this week's Magician's Apprentice.
so it's just under great, basically.
Well, I don't mean last week, I mean, you know,
But what it shows you is it's pretty highly rated, isn't it?
yes.
Pretty highly rated. So, anything else to say on the accumulation, or
I don't think
are
so.
we moving on to the next item?
Should we move on?
Okay.
Right, so the synopsis for Woman Who Lived has been released.
So is this not tonight's episode, but next week's episode,
No,
or the one after
the
that?
one after.
The one after that. Okay. Oh, can I actually, before we get on to that, can I just go back to last week's episode again?
Yeah,
I forgot what it was called. What's it called?
Under the Lake.
Under the Lake. Something that I wondered about when watching that.
Yeah.
We might have talked about this a little bit last week actually, because it was in the clip that we watched before the episode was on. But there's that big painting behind the Doctor and Clara
Yeah.
when they first arrive in the
Yeah.
base, which looks like a sort of a dragon.
Oh yeah.
And I was wondering whether that was with like Vikings and stuff, wasn't it? I think. And I was just
It's
wondering
been
whether.
saying it's a Star Trek reference.
Oh, is it? Right. Okay.
There's been things saying that,
Okay.
and
I just wonder
there's a
whether it was a
person
link into the next week's episode.
there's a person with a blue top on.
Hmm.
Could be Pritchard.
I just
Looks a
wonder
bit
whether
like Pritchard.
I just wonder whether it was a link into the Viking episode of next week.
Yes.
But anyway, sorry, I was getting off on a tangent. So yeah,
England, 1651. The deadly highwayman, the Nightmare, and his sidekick stalk the dark streets of London. But when they find loot that's not of this world, they come face to face with the Doctor. Who is the Nightmare in league with? And can the Doctor avoid the hangman's noose and protect Earth from a devilish betrayal?
sounds good. This is the Maisie Williams episode. Of course, it's going to struggle to get anywhere near as good as Richard Mace in terms of highwayman.
No.
Richard Mace was a legend. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to this story.
Yeah.
Very much so. Robin, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
You're generally not as keen on the historical episodes
No.
as
I
you are.
cough at the classic in the historical episodes.
So how do you see this one? 'Cause this looks like it's going to be in a historical setting. Well, these two in a row.
No! Who? You're ruining Doctor Who. You're ruining Davy Matheson's chance at a Doctor Who story.
Is this one of the stories you're looking forward for? You're obviously looking forward for all of them because you eat and sleep and live Doctor Who, don't you?
I don't eat Doctor Who. Yeah.
No, but you probably think about it whilst you're eating.
I probably do.
Yeah.
I probably do.
Is it one of the episodes you're most looking forward for this season or not?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Any more?
Well, no, it isn't.
It's not.
No.
It's one of the ones I'm most looking forward for.
I'm looking forward to Maisie in it.
Yeah.
So John Hurt returns as the War Doctor for some audio adventures. So
We were saying earlier on, you were saying that you're not as into the audio adventures.
No.
But surely this one,
yeah. Ooh.
well, sir, you've got to listen to this one.
In December, the Time War will rage, and only one man can save us. John Hurt is the War Doctor. John Hurt, the world-renowned star of film and television, is returning to the role of the War Doctor in 12 full-cast Doctor Who audio plays.
Cool.
The War Doctor was introduced for Doctor Who's 50th anniversary and played a key part in the record-breaking television special The Day of the Doctor, alongside David Tennant and Matt Smith Doctor. He is the secret incarnation of the Time Lord, but he has shunned the title Doctor in order to fight in the Time War against the Daleks. The audio adventures of the War Doctor will be told over 4 box sets, each containing 3 linked hour-long episodes.
Well, sir.
The first box set is entitled Only the Monstrous and is written and directed by Nicholas Briggs. His many successes for Big Finish include the BBC Audio Award-winning masterpiece Doctor Who Dark Eyes. So, in addition to the War Doctor, November 2017 also sees a prequel box set to the saga, Doctor Who the Eighth Doctor, The Time War, which will follow the early stages of the Time War from the Eighth Doctor's perspective. Paul McGann stars alongside characters first introduced in the War Doctor box set.
This just sounds brilliant to me.
I know.
It does really sound brilliant. If it wasn't for the fact that these are just so expensive and we can't afford them,
Yeah.
I would love to hear these. I really
They're
would.
probably like £40.
Yeah, but I would love to hear these. So if you feel like donating your hard-earned money so that me and Lewis Moon can listen to the audio shows, feel free to donate all of your cash.
All spare change.
Gives us £5, mister.
Maybe 10.
Come on, mister.
Tenner.
Give us a tenner.
Maybe
And
15.
you, miss. Hey, miss, give us some money
Yeah.
so we can go and buy ourselves some hot food.
And some Doctor Who audio adventures.
Do we have any other news?
Yes. So full details and artwork have been revealed for the 2015 DVD release of the partly missing Patrick Troughton story, The Underwater Menace.
You say again?
The Underwater Menace.
I thought this had been shelved.
The Underwater Menace.
So initially, the intention was to release this with reconstructed cartoon. Yeah.
Yes.
Now they've stepped back from that, and instead it's presumably coming out with
Two.
how are they doing it?
2 remastered existing episodes, with the 2 missing episodes represented with restored audio and surviving stills, as well as over an hour of extras.
What do you make of this? What's your thoughts? Because I bet you if they'd have done it with the animated
Yeah,
ones, you would have lapped it up, wouldn't you?
me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I mean, yes.
But I know that you're not particularly.
Still happy.
You're not particularly fond though of the still episodes.
Neither I know.
Is it one you're still trying to get hold of or not?
Um,
You gonna watch it or not?
maybe.
Yeah. And we did
Watch
watch Web of Fear, didn't we? Which is one part missing. But I mean, but I guess the thing was with that one, that was a 6-part, wasn't it?
6-part.
So it felt like, okay, you had the annoying clip episode in there, but it didn't really feel like it was a substantial part of the story. Whereas here, 50% of it is effectively going to be stills.
Yeah.
But I really want to see this story. I really like the look of it. I love that clip we watched quite a few times with the mad guy in it.
Nothing in the world can stop me now!
I love that bit. Yeah, that's really, really good. Anyway, moving on.
Yes. So, official Lego Doctor Who set pick and details. So what
do we have here then? So
the official Lego Doctor Who set has been unveiled and is due for release 1st of December. It's quite a lot.
Blooming heck it is, isn't it? Well, Lego always is.
Yes. So, construct a stunningly detailed Lego version of the iconic TARDIS and role-play the Doctor's time travel adventures. Created by fan designer Andrew Clark and selected by LEGO Ideas members, this set is based on the BBC's most popular and long-running television series about a Time Lord, the Doctor, exploring the universe in a real police box. Due to transdimensional engineering, the TARDIS is bigger on the inside than the outside, and this cool manufactural set includes the console room that houses all the flight controls. Regenerate the Doctor and defeat the evil Daleks and the Weeping Angel with the help of his extraordinary companion Clara. Then close the doors of the TARDIS and launch into another dimension. Includes 4 minifigures with assorted accessory elements: the 11th Doctor, the 12th Doctor, Clara Oswald, and the Weeping Angel, plus 2 Daleks.
It's a nice looking set, isn't it? I really like the Peter Capaldi Lego figure. Actually, I really like the Matt Smith one as well, actually. Yeah, they look really good, don't they?
Great.
They do look really good. What's your take on it? Because you like your Lego stuff, don't you? You've got like a lot of the Simpsons ones, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a nice kit.
Nice kit.
Just a lot of money. That's the
It is.
downside, isn't it? Hey, Mister, give us a fiver. We need some hot food, some audio plays, and a Lego set.
Actually, give us a 50 or 100 would be fine. So also merchandise related, we've got a split. The first part has been the cover for the first part of Series 9 has been revealed.
This is for the DVD.
Part 1.
Part 1 DVD.
And then the back cover has got it's got Davros on the back. So if that had been released beforehand, then that would be a bit spoilery.
What's your thoughts on it? On the splitting the season into 2 parts as far as the box set's concerned?
What do you mean? Oh, they're releasing a complete box set in 2016. So should I wait till then?
Can you wait till then? I guess out of fact, you've probably got them all stored on your TV anyway, haven't you? So maybe you should wait till then.
Maybe I should, yeah, because they might not release part 2 of the DVD. So.
Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, you probably are. You probably are that way. I bet you don't though. You become impatient.
So also the time for the Girly Died has been confirmed.
So what's that?
Next week at 8:20 till 9:10.
Okay. Sounds good. Looking forward to that.
So that's the end of the news.
Wowza. So that brings us on to our feature, our final.
No, it's not a feature.
Is it not?
It's the top settings for Doctor Who episodes.
So does that not count as a feature? That's a feature.
It's a feature, but it doesn't
but not the
count
main
as
feature.
the main feature.
Oh, I didn't say the main feature. I just said the feature.
Yeah, no.
So explain again.
Me.
So what are we doing?
We are doing our best settings.
Okay.
And
so,
where did it rank, by the way, in the top scary episodes for Doctor Who? Last week's.
Does
it rank near the top or?
Do you know, it's quite hard to say actually, because
Yeah.
I think it's, in terms of scary look, I would say it's probably right at the top. But I didn't really find I was scared as such. So it wouldn't be up there like Listen or anything like
No.
that, where you did find yourself quite on edge.
On the back.
It was. No, I don't think it. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. No, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna answer.
top settings. I'm gonna say first up. Let's say one of the settings which I quite like.
But actually, should we just say,
Yeah.
before you say that, before you jump in, the reason for choosing this topic today
It's
is
because we do a
because-
video chat tomorrow.
well, we will do that, but we have been trying to set our little feature, our debate feature on the show, based around something that's prompted by the episode that we'll be watching that night. And
So-
we were talking with this one around the whole, over this 2-part story, the setting of the underwater base
So
was
We've done that.
was like a really cool thing, and therefore let's have a look at settings and what's the best settings in Doctor Who.
so
Over to you.
one of the best settings for Doctor Who is moon bases
Mhm.
and on T-map and everything. I quite like that.
Yeah.
The moon base sort of theme to it.
Yeah.
It is quite cool having colonists on a moon or something.
Well, that brought us Colony in Space as much as anything else.
Yes, it did.
I know it wasn't the moon, but
It brought us to the moon base as well.
yeah, no, I like that. What do you think? I mean, taking it back to last week's episode and the whole underwater base, we've seen not necessarily underwater bases, but we've had bases
Yeah.
on a number of occasions. I mean, like we talked about Waters of Mars earlier on. We
Waters of
talked
Mars,
about
yeah.
obviously last week's episode. You've got some of the Patrick Troughton ones. I'm trying to think of another episode that fits that. Oh, Cold War actually.
Cold War.
Yeah, in Matt Smith's era. How do you think that sort of ranks in terms of settings?
I like that sort of setting, the base or underwater base sort of setting. It's quite a traditional sort of theme to the settings of Doctor Who episodes.
I think it's also that it makes it quite tense, doesn't
It
it?
does, because they
people are
put
trapped in it.
them somewhere where they can't properly get out, or
Yeah.
they can get out sometime, but not yet.
Yeah. What about modern day settings?
What do you mean?
generally like that? When things are on Earth and they're modern day.
I quite like that. Yeah, it's because we went to the periods of Who a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, quite a few weeks ago. That was
Yeah.
on, like episode 123,
Mhm.
I believe.
Yeah.
Which was quite a good theme for the podcast. But I think I said that present was my favourite settings.
Hmm.
Out of the 3 periods, was that what you said, or did you say past or future?
No, I think I probably did say present. I can't remember that.
Yeah.
I probably changed my mind. I change my mind all the time.
Yeah. Everyone does. Every second, someone changes their mind.
They do. Yeah.
Mm.
In fact, I've changed my mind. I don't want to do a podcast anymore.
No.
So you can do the rest on your own. I
Okay,
What's-
I'm quitting. Then.
What's my favourite? What's my favourite setting? It's difficult. I guess actually, funny enough, I mean, again, going back to Genesis of the Daleks, that again sort of fits that base, doesn't it? Where
Yeah, it
they're trapped in that base. There's something quite good about being trapped somewhere, because immediately, as well as the threat of a villain, you've got the threat of them being trapped
Yeah.
with a villain. So that's quite good. Historical settings we're not generally keen on, are we?
No, I don't like that. Sometimes it's good, but
Yeah.
I don't really like. I'm not really a fan. I've been watching Time Meddler recently.
Have you? Is that good?
It's alright.
That's one of the ones I really fancy watching.
Yeah, it's
Time.
quite good. The
What's,
monk's good in it.
when you come down to it, there's actually only a sort of relatively small number of settings, really, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
You can have inside a building,
You can have outside,
Outside the building.
Up in space.
Yeah.
Not up in space.
In the past. In the past in a building.
And below the ground. And below the ground in a building.
What do you think is the best underwater adventure that we've seen in who over the years?
The best underwater.
Mhm.
Maybe this one's one of them, definitely. Don't think you can count waters.
No, I don't think
It's
that's
water related,
yeah.
but not like.
It's in
Yeah,
Mars,
under the
so
water.
it's on Mars.
How many underwater adventures can we name? Presumably
Cold
the
War.
underwater menace. I've seen that's underwater. We've not seen it, have we? So
No, Atlantis it's set in.
okay. So that probably would be. Obviously the one last week, it's say Cold War. There was another one that came to my head just a minute ago, which I've forgotten about. Oh, the Peter Davidson one with the Silurians and the Sea Devils.
Warriors of the Deep.
Warriors of the Deep, yeah.
Very underrated one.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think is the best of the underwater ones? Any of
This
these?
one.
Yeah. I think you're probably right. I think whilst that Peter Davison one's underrated, it wouldn't compare with
No.
last week.
It wouldn't.
Yeah.
So, should we finish there?
I think so. That's probably enough we can say from settings, isn't it?
So that's the end of the show.
Wowzer.
Next week, on episode 129 of the podcast,
Mhm.
we review Before the Flood.
We'll be telling you the latest news and views that have hit our desk over the last 7 days.
We'll have a preview of Girl Who Died.
And we'll have a feature which we haven't yet decided.
We don't just. I think it would be like top mysteries or something.
Yeah.
Or top historicals or something.
Before we sign off, perhaps just a couple of other things just to mention briefly, linked to at the end of the show. Firstly, we released a live behind the sofa earlier on, where we talked about the top 5, or you talked about the top 5 Tom Baker episodes. So
Yep.
if you didn't get a chance to listen to that live, check that out now on the Mr. Lewis Moon YouTube channel. Which
Yeah.
was it actually called your YouTube channel?
Mr. Lewis Moon.
It is called that. I can remember.
You don't know what my YouTube
No,
account.
I knew it was something.
I know
like
what
that.
yours is called.
Also on Mr. Lewis Moon YouTube account, you can also catch the latest of the Doctor Who Figure Adventures Planet, which will be going live any second now.
So, put your Sonic sunglasses on and get out put away your cards. Go outside and then have a bit of fresh air and then come back inside Before the Flood at 8:25 tonight. So, we're signing off now. Goodbye!